Hello, everybody. We are back again, once again, for story time from my bedroom. Look here, you guys. Before we get started, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It is totally free. Do y'all know Netflix supposed to go up to $20? Look, we may have to cut Netflix, y'all. We may have to boycott, like Monique said right here, just for the prices to come down. But before then, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel for free so you can watch me instead. And then go ahead and click the bell for notifications so you'll be the first one to know when we upload new videos, which is on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And also, like the video. I had forgot, y'all. Like the video, you guys, after watching it. And also leave me comments. Do y'all notice anything different about my bedroom? Y'all see my little ornaments I put on there? It's white, so it matched the wall, y'all. I just saw them. I thought they was cute. I said, let's throw them up there, girl. Let's do that. So I'll let y'all look at that. We're going to turn it around here. So y'all seen the title of this thing. It's called The High-Low Lady. Y'all, oh my God. Don't judge me, y'all, but she was a high-low lady. This is what she was a high-low lady. Y'all figure it out as we go through this video. Okay, so this took place when, like, in my childhood, you guys, but I remember it. I think I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old. I don't know how old my older brother was. It was my older brother, it was Tracy, it was me, and then it was my younger brother, JoJo. And so JoJo at that particular, now let me go back. We lived on a street called Taft Lane. I don't know what the address was of Taft Lane. I just know we used to run it together and say we live on Taft Lane. So we lived on Taft Lane, which is like by Avondale somewhere. I don't even know if that street is still there or if the buildings is still there. I don't think the buildings are still there, whatever. So we lived on Taft Lane, and I think we maybe had like 2 bedrooms. I just remember being younger, I slept in the living room for some reason. It is what it is, honey. It was a struggle train going on. This was in the 70s. Honey, times was rough, just like they rough right about now. Okay. So my brother, my youngest brother, JoJo, ended up getting sick. He started being sick for some reason. And JoJo had to be rushed to the hospital. Well, what happened to JoJo was his appendix had ruptured. Now, JoJo was 3 years younger than me. So JoJo would have had to been about 4 or 5 years old, but his appendix ruptured and JoJo almost died. So my parents took JoJo to the hospital. Now, I remember this time there was periods of time that we were at home by ourselves. It's not like nowadays where you leave a child at home at 7 years old, honey, they'll have a fit call CPS on you. I mean, child protection services on you, and you'll have a whole blown out case. Honey, in the 70s and 80s, you left your kids at home as long as it was an older child that was there. You know, you left your child at home. Most people left their kids at home. If you ever got left at home and was a latchkey kid, they call it latchkey now. We just call it being left at home, basically. And your mama said, don't open that door, don't answer that door, don't mess with the phone, blah, blah, blah. And you stayed at home. It is what it is. I remember there was plenty of times that we got left in the car while she went in the grocery store. Nobody called the police. We didn't die in the car or anything like that. So we were being left at home. But at this time, my aunt lived on the back side of the building. So there was apartments on the front side of the building. It was a lower level where the laundromat was, and then it was a top level. And we lived on a lower level. Well, my aunt lived on the back side of the building. She lived on the back side of the building. Now, she didn't have any kids at the time. And then her friend, her name was Pat. Now, I'm not going to try to make up nobody extra name, y'all, because, when I try to make up a name, I end up saying a person's real name in the video. Then when I get excited about uploading the video, I don't forget to go in and change, bleep out and edit. I don't be doing all that. This raw YouTube right here, y'all. Raw YouTube. We going to upgrade when some of that little monetized money kick in. But until then, y'all, the woman name was Pat. It was Miss Pat. That's all I know. So they lived on the back side of the building. So what happened was my aunt, because we was at home, my mom could always call my aunt, like, go around there and check on the kids. So she would come around here and check on us. And Miss Pat would come around and check on us. Okay, so while my brother was in the hospital, we were crying because we just thought our younger brother was going to die. But my mom and them had this picture of like, I don't know if it was a Last Supper or something, some type of religious photo was on the wall. And I remember me, my brother, and Tracy were all crying, and we were like praying like little kitty prayers that JoJo would be okay. And so what I decided to do was I said, well, I had a hamster, y'all. I don't know what that hamster name was. I love little pets and stuff. I don't know what that little hamster name was, but my mindset was I was going to go ahead and style the hamster's hair. So when JoJo came home from the hospital, I could surprise him with the hamster. I'm like, look, I styled his hair. Now, mind you, as a child, it all made sense to me. But as an adult, I laugh about it like, girl, why was you deciding to style? But you know, little kids try to do something to make their sibling feel good or what have you. And so nobody was there. My aunt hadn't came around there. The lady, Miss Pat, hadn't came around there. Now, so let me tell you this part about the hamster. So the hamster, I took him in the bathroom, and I remember just taking like some little soap and I wet him down real good. I wet him down. I made sure I didn't get no water in his face, y'all. I don't want y'all reporting me to nobody or whatever. And so I made sure, I held his little head and I put a little soap on him and I washed him up real good with some little nice, it was like some little warm water or whatever. I had enough sense to make warm water. But then his hair was flat. Before he was fluffy, now his hair is like stuck to his body. This ain't happening. So I was like, what can I do? So what I did was I went and turned the fan on. I said, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to put him in front of the fan. I'm going to face him the opposite way. Like his hair was smooth back coming this way. So I didn't want the fan to blow directly in his face because I figured he can't get no air. So I turned him around the back way. And I was like, and what I do is I fluff his hair up. And then once the fan dries him off, he'll be nice, big, and fluffy. So we were... So I got the little box fan. I sat it on it. This what happens when you ain't watching your kids, y'all. So I got the little box fan and I sat it on the coffee table and I plugged it in. And then I sat him there. Well, he kept trying to run. I was like, you can't run. You got to sit down, little hamster dude. So what I did was I held him there. I ain't hold him hard, but I just kind of held him, cupped him like this and let the air blow on him. And then I kept going like this to fluff his hair out. Well, lo and behold, guess what, honey? He had a blowout. His hair was bigger than this at the time. I said, okay, Steph. Go ahead. And it was in the 70s. And afros was really popping then. So I was like, great. JoJo come home. Look, he done got bigger. His hair is gorgeous. He'll be fine. So this particular day, y'all. So what happened was, by the next day, my parents and them came home late from the hospital, what have you. By the next day, the hamster started like lightweight sneezing. I don't know if he wasn't coughing because he don't open his mouth like, but he was sneezing like kept doing that. So my parents was like, what is wrong with the hamster? I was like, I don't know what's wrong with him. And so he kept making that noise. And so next thing you know, my brother Wendell got arrested. So, because if he wasn't, honey, if he didn't pass away, I'd have got his tail after telling this story. He told on me. This ain't the first time Wendell told on me. Years later, he started telling on me. But he told, Sherry put the hamster in front of the fan. And it was like, Sherry, why would you put the hamster in front of the fan? I said, I put him in front of the fan because I wanted to blow his hair out so he could look nice and fluffy when JoJo come home. So by this time, my parents was like, okay, y'all doing too much. And my aunt wasn't coming around there enough to check on us, enough so that I had the time to wash a whole hamster, blow dry his hair out. Honey, he had a blowout. Put a fan on the thing. I'm messing with electrical sockets and all of that different stuff. So what they did was they said, you're going to go around there. Next time we got to go to the hospital, you're going to go around there to your Aunt Laura's house where she passed away, my Aunt Laura's house. And I'm like, all right then. So we had to go around there. Now, I don't know if Tracy and Wendell had to go. Because Tracy and Wendell didn't get into too much stuff, and they were a bit older than me. So I think they only sent me around there because I was the one messing with fans trying to blow dry people's hair. Blow dry the hamster hair or whatever. So eventually, y'all, about 2-3 days later, the hamster died. Honey, I was distraught. You know, Mickey passed away in the last video, y'all. And so now my hamster done died, honey. Somebody poured out some liquor for my dead hamster. He passed away. I was distraught. I already thought JoJo was going to pass. My brother was going to die. My hamster done died. I did this to surprise him. Now I ain't got nothing to give to him when he come home, y'all. So my parents took me around there to my aunt and them house. And I had to stay at my aunt's house while they went to the hospital. Then when they would come back from the hospital, they would come and pick me up. But let me tell you something about my aunt. Now, my Tracy lived with my aunt years later. No, years earlier. I didn't know this at the time, but Tracy I don't think knew it at. Yeah, she did know it at the time, but I didn't know it at the time until it all kind of came out. Tracy had stayed with my Aunt Lois for like maybe 2-3 years or whatever. My mom was going through some things, so Tracy had stayed with her. So Tracy and my Aunt Lois was like this. Well, I knew my Aunt Lois, but I just knew that was my mama's sister, but I didn't really know her. But I didn't want to be around the house. I wanted to be around there with the rest of the daggone kids, but due to me trying to be a hairstylist, y'all, I got put on a little punishment. So my aunt now was, honey, let me tell you something. My aunt was a partier. Point blank, mother loving period. Honey, she was a partier, she was a drinker, and she was sure enough a weed smoker, baby. Honey, if she was lied to this day, she would be ecstatic due to the fact that they got medical weed, because she would have found a medical weed card somewhere. Baby, this woman smoked more than Snoop Dogg. I don't even think Snoop Dogg was probably born right then. Honey, this woman smoked. She smoked and her friend Miss Pat smoked. Now, I ain't really particularly want to be around there, but my mama used to go around there, talk with her sister. Honey, they sit around, they chitty chat, woo, woo, woo. Don't remember seeing my mom ever drinking, but they used to be around. My mom used to be around their house all the time because my aunt had like a little balcony outside her back door that I would go stand on or whatever. So we were always, I take this back, it wasn't my aunt's house, it was Miss Pat's house. So I just never really realized why we was always at Miss Pat's house when my mom and my Aunt Lois and them would carouse or whatever. But this time when they took me around there because I messed up killed the hamster basically unintentionally, then I was at my aunt's house. So my aunt would take me over Miss Pat's house and we would sit over there till my mom and them came home. Y'all, Miss Pat was the partying woman with my aunt. They stayed going out. If it was a Friday or a Saturday, they was going somewhere. But Miss Pat, y'all, I tell no lie. If y'all think I'm lying, y'all ask Tracy on the side or in the comments when she come on. Miss Pat ain't had no arms. So I thought it was weird that this woman didn't have no arm. And I was this little bit as a kid, scared of her. Miss Pat was super tall. She was light-skinned, and she had like a box cut like Grace Jones. But she was she gave you that androgynous kind of. So I knew her name was Miss Pat, but you know Pat is a unisex name. But she was just really androgynous. I guess I knew she was a woman, but she just gave me, now that I look back and think about her, she gave me androgynous vibes, like Grace Jones a little bit. So she had this box haircut and she was super tall. But I was this much scared of Miss Pat because Miss Pat didn't have no arms. And when I say Miss Pat ain't had no arms, she ain't had no arms. Miss Pat ain't had no arms like all the way up to here arms. But at the end of her, help, childhood trauma. At the end of her arms, it wasn't like somebody cut her arm and it was just like zip across like a stump. It was pointed. And it had like a little hook thingy to it at the end. I don't know what the little hook thingy was. I don't know. But she could do little stuff with her little arm. Y'all, they gonna kick me up off it. Don't unsubscribe, y'all. I know it. The woman could do little stuff with her little arm. So Pat could take, like, I don't know how she did it, but she put her little makeup on with her arm. She could drink a drink with her little arm. She just couldn't, well, she could hold stuff, but she would put them together like this and whatever. So I was always like, kind of shy back from her a little bit because I was a kid and I ain't never seen nothing like that. But let me tell you something, Miss Pat was so nice. Miss Pat smoked cigarettes. Somebody would light a cigarette, put it in her mouth, and then she would do like this and take it out with that little thing that was at the end of it. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, new way of smoking. It is what it is. So I ain't really like to go around there, but since I killed the hamster, they don't put me around there with my aunt, and that was my aunt, honey, best friend, best partying friend. So they would always go out on Friday nights or Saturday nights or whatever. And by the time my parents was making their way to come back from the hospital, then Miss Pat and my aunt would be dressed up. Miss Pat would have on her some black pants, honey. She would always wear tank tops. She would always wear tank tops or whatever. And she would, have it cut low. She would put her lipstick on, honey. She was... Now, honey, besides her having her missing, her arms missing or whatever, honey, Miss Pat was the cat's meow, real. Honey, she was a cat's meow, baby. She was walking tall and real spry, baby, and probably all up in the club getting whatever. Seriously, the woman was fine. She was fine. Child, till one day, y'all, I go around there. I don't know how long JoJo was in the hospital. I said, I didn't know Jesus at the time. I didn't know who we was praying to on that little thing that was hanging up. It was like an Afghan of a picture or something. I don't know who we was praying to. I was like, but they don't send my brother home. So I quit coming up here with Miss Pat and my aunt because I was this much scared of Miss Pat. So, honey, this one day I came, my aunt took me over there or whatever. Miss Pat walked in or whatever. She walked in from the back room and she was whatever. And she told my aunt, walking through the kitchen or whatever, because they always sat in the kitchen because they was always drinking their little stuff in the kitchen and smoking their cigarettes. And Miss Pat was like, let me go on back here real quick. I'll be right back. Meaning go back to her bedroom. Y'all, Miss Pat came out. And Miss Pat was my height. Miss Pat ain't had no legs. Y'all, Miss Pat got in my face. Baby, I was this scared. Honey, I was this scared then. I burst out crying because she was in my face. And I ain't talking about she bent down. She didn't have no legs. I said, oh my God. I guess she was born with no, limbs. She was born with no limbs, but she was tall. She must have she got the extra long legs. Honey, the doctor, the Medicaid doctor, whoever prescribed them, must have gave her, prescribed them, not subscribed, but prescribed them, must have gave her the tall, extra long knees, honey, because this woman had to be at least 6 feet with her legs on. That's why my aunt will always go over her house, because she can't get down the steps like that. Child, Miss Pat got in my face, asked me if I want something to eat. And I just started crying. I didn't know how to process it. Now, I was trying to deal with the arms, but by the time, y'all, she ain't had no legs. I can't. She was like, what's wrong, baby? Miss Pat ain't gonna mess with you. Woo, woo, woo. Honey, I just climbed up on my aunt like, good God from Zion. This lady ain't got no legs. She done got short. I'm traumatized. Yeah. Miss Pat ain't got no legs. By that time, after a while, my parents came and picked me up, honey. I was shaking. You know how you shake so much you ever got like a real bad whooping? You was like, I was on the, we went downstairs. I started praying to the Afghan, baby. The rest of them ain't got to pray with me. I'm about to pray to the Afghan. Jesus, send my brother home, because I don't never want to see Miss Pat no more. I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to tell the story. Honey, after that, I see Miss Pat plenty of times after that. And honey, I stayed far away from her. She was my height, but she was I couldn't process how you was a whole big lady and you just went down to being small. Honey, I just couldn't process it. Y'all, my brother came home. Praise God. And I don't remember seeing. I wasn't wanting to go to Miss Pat's house no more. I think every time my mama took her tail around there to my aunt and them house, I probably cried a river, honey. But I couldn't tell her I'm scared of Miss Pat. I just was. Honey, y'all let me stop before I get in trouble. I don't want. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell with notifications. And give the video a thumbs up, y'all. Miss Pat worked me out. I was messed up for years with short people. I just and pray for those in the hospital that they come out. Y'all have a good weekend. I will see y'all on Monday. Lord, let me get myself together. Peace.